Welcome back everyone, I really hope you're all doing well. So it's that time of year where it's started to get quite chilly at night and it's dropping down to 1 degree this evening, and then for the next 4 or 5 days it's between 1 and 5 degrees at night. So my plan today is to dig up my red Abyssinian, my Colocasia esculenta, and also put some fleece over my bananas, and then I've just got a few other things to kind of chop back, including the canna lilies, my hibiscus, and I might actually leave the pink china and see how it does over the next week. So I think I'm going to start off by digging up my Colocasia esculenta, and I'll also be showing you how to overwinter caladiums. So it's not quite as big this year as previous years, but that's because everything was about a month behind because we had a pretty rubbish spring. But as you can see, it has multiplied quite a bit, so I think there's about 4 in there now. It was lovely and sunny this morning and dry, and then as soon as I was ready to come out and start filming, it tipped it down with rain, so everything's soggy and wet now, which is a little bit annoying, but that's fine. I also might chop back this begonia because that's definitely going to go a lot more yellow over the next few nights with the cold temperatures. The cannas have all finished flowering, so they can be chopped back. I need to have a look in the shed and see how much fleece and mulch I've got. I might have to pick up some more this week. The pink chinas are still looking quite nice. As you can see, my hibiscus is totally finished for this year. It's all gone yellow and a lot of the stems have snapped. We've had quite stormy weather over the last few weeks, so did get a few things that damaged in the storm, including some of the cannas, and it also snapped off a few banana leaves. Let's have a look down here. I haven't actually been out in the garden for a while because the weather's been a bit ropey. The Musa Basjoo are still looking lovely, and then I've just still got a few Colocasia that I need to chop back as well. And I think I'll just shove some horticultural fleece in the crown of the tree fern for now. So the caladiums that I had out in the garden I did bring in a few weeks ago, and I did exactly the same with these as what I am going to do with my Colocasia esculenta. So I dug them up, got rid of the soil, and then dried them out in the airing cupboard. Actually, I just put these in the airing cupboard for a couple of days, and then I'm just keeping them in some bags with sawdust at the bottom. I haven't put any sulphur powder on these. They seem like they are properly dried out, so I shouldn't have any problems. And then I've just labelled each bag so I remember what they are. So what I'd normally do with this one is dig it up, cut off the leaves, and then turn it upside down for a couple of days just to make sure all the water's properly drained out of it. I usually have this one in a plastic pot, so it's a bit easier to get out, so it will be interesting to see how it comes out of this ceramic pot. I'll also link last year's videos of how I overwintered the plants in the description box for you. So here's my esculenta all dug up. So what I'm going to be doing next is trying to remove as much soil from them as possible, and I'm going to be chopping off the leaves and then dry storing them in a paper bag in the cupboard in my house. I usually add a little bit of yellow sulphur as well just to make sure that they don't rot, or you can use cinnamon powder. But as you can see, it has multiplied this year, so I have got a few of them. So here's what it's looking like after I have chopped off the leaves and the roots. But I'm going to try and clean off some more of the soil inside. I still need to chop off the roots on this one. Okay, so that wasn't as bad as what I thought it would be getting it out the pot. It was actually quite easy to get out. So I've chopped off the leaves, and then I'm just going to leave it sitting here for the rest of the day under cover. I might actually move it over there to make sure that it doesn't get wet. And then I'll probably stick this in the airing cupboard as well for a couple of days. I'll chop off these roots, and then I'll just be placing this in a paper bag and putting it in a cupboard in my kitchen. This is the esculenta, what's left of it. My next job is chopping down the canna lilies. So that's all the cannas chopped down, apart from the Musa, which I can't quite bring myself to chop down just yet. I think I need to, but it's just a bit sad. But anyway, that's all of them chopped down. So basically what I do, you can see here where I've chopped them down almost to ground level, and then all I do is put some protection over the top. I usually use just mulch, like bark pieces, and they always come back each year, so I've never had any problems. I've noticed there's even more shoots popping up in random places. We've got some new bananas popping up as well. What I normally do with the bananas is I get a big fleece bag, so that covers the pups as well as the main trunk. But I need to have a look in the shed and see what I've got. I'm also going to chop the leaves off my tetrapanax, and I usually just cover the trunk with fleece. Oh look, it's a mushroom. It's already started to go quite yellow. Here we go, more rain coming, perfect. I'm glad I managed to dig this up before it started raining. So I might have to tidy up and resume this video later on in the day, or possibly tomorrow. Wow, I'd forgotten how bare everything looks once it's been chopped back. So we've got a big pile of leaves here. We've got some over here, and then a huge pile here at the back. These are the biggest leaves, which came from my tallest banana, and I'm going to measure them in a second just to see how big they are. So these leaves are measuring around 6 feet, which is pretty ginormous. I can't wait to see how big they get next year. So for now I'm going to have to clean up this carnage, and then I'm going to go in the shed and get the fleeces out. So all I'm going to be doing basically is mulching around the base of the bananas and the cannas and the hibiscus, and then just literally putting a fleece bag over the top and then tying it to make sure it doesn't blow off in the wind. So I'll be doing that with all my bananas. I haven't cut back the pink chinas. I might just leave them tonight and see how they're looking tomorrow, but I've got quite a lot of fleecing to do and it's starting to get a little bit dark now. So what I might do is put the fleeces on and then continue filming tomorrow afternoon, and I'll just show you what it's all looking like. I'm not sure if I've even got enough mulch, so I might have to go and pick some mulch up over the next few days, but that can be done after you've put the fleece on anyway. So I was out here in the dark last night frantically mulching over everything. I ended up popping to B&Q and picked up a couple of bags of bark mulch, although the pieces are really large and I usually get one that's much smaller pieces. So I've ordered another bag from Amazon and I'm just going to scatter that over the top, as I think it will look a bit nicer. I still need to clean up the carnage. Look how big that leaf is. So beautiful. So I ended up wrapping up my tetrapanax, my sago palm, my bananas, and then I just mulched around the base of each one. Mulched over the cannas. I still need to chop back the Colocasia. They're still looking alright after one night of frost, although I think another few nights will probably do them in. And then just put some mulch around this one. I didn't have quite enough fleece to wrap around some of the pups, so I think I'm just going to chop these back and mulch over them. And then I need to go around and give the garden a good tidy, pick up all the leaves, and generally just tidy it up a little bit. But for now, this is how everything is looking. We still have some flowers. Even the honeysuckle is still flowering, although the leaves are starting to go a bit yellow now. But it's amazing how long this plant flowers for. It's one of my favourite climbers. The Spanish moss is still doing okay. I should probably take these in now though. And same with the bromeliads. So a few days have passed since I last did some filming out in the garden. I picked some mulch up yesterday, which is a bit finer than the one I was using before, and I'm just going to scatter that in the beds. As you can see, the pink chinas are looking a little bit more sad now because we have had some frosts over the last week, although some of them still look okay. But I think I'm just going to chop them back and put them to bed for winter, and then it's done then, so I don't have to worry about it. But as I said, I'm just going to put some more mulch in the beds, mainly for decorative purposes. I've already mulched around the bases of the bananas and the cannas and things like that, so it's literally a case of just adding some more to the borders just to make it look a bit nicer. It's looking a little bit gloomy today. It seems like every time I come out into the garden to film it starts raining. My maple is looking really pretty. So that's pretty much everything for now. I've put down the mulch. I brought this plant to the front, as I think this will look quite nice over winter here on the patio. Everything's chopped back and covered. I still need to chop back the honeysuckle, but I think I'll save that for another day. And I still just need to go around and do a general tidy up of leaves and things like that and give it a good sweep. But I think it's looking so much better this year for November just because of the pergola and the lawn's gone and the garden's looking obviously a bit more established. But I'll keep you posted and I'll do another winter tour for you soon to show you how it's all looking in the coldest months of the year. So I'm just going to pop inside now because I've got one more caladium that I need to overwinter, so I'm just going to show you how I do that. So this is my final caladium that I'll be overwintering. This is my Florida Moonlight. So as you can see, it's pretty much died back, and all I'm going to do is chop off the leaves, dig up the bulbs, remove as much soil as possible, and then I'm just going to pop them in my airing cupboard for a couple of days just to make sure that they're nice and dry. And then all I've done with my others is I have just popped them into labelled paper bags with some sawdust at the bottom and then sprinkled a little bit of yellow sulphur powder on them. Alternatively, you can use cinnamon, but they should be fine. And then I'm just going to literally pop this whole box in this corner cupboard here for the winter. My red Abyssinian is in this paper bag here, and again I'll just be popping that in the cupboard for winter. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions, just leave them below in the comments. Take care, everyone. Happy gardening, keep warm, and I'll see you all soon.